That was a really interesting realization I had because when you are in a male dominated area, you kind of have this weird thing where you're like, I'm not like other girls. Like it's a bad
Mm.
thing. You feel like the pressure almost like not even like subconsciously to sort of fit in and look like them. Obviously, because you can wear what the hell you want if you want to wear baggy stuff. I mean, I wear so many baggy clothes at home. Like I literally I call them my day PJs. But yeah, like it was just really interesting realizing actually I can just wear a dress if I want to. It was
Yeah.
just always that fear of like, oh, she's just trying to dress provocatively to get more people to listen to the music. And it's just like, oh, I hate thinking like that. And I hate like that attitude. And it's like you can just be a woman and, just like hopefully
Yeah.
be in a good band.
Hello and welcome. I am Kiki. My pronouns are she, her. This is the Bleeding Metal podcast. And today I am here with Justine from Employed to Serve. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How are you doing today? We were just catching up a little bit and you were telling me, no, you can tell us about your holidays.
Yeah, it was really good, thank you. My brain's like yogurt though, because I started back in the office yesterday and my brain's already given up the ghost. It's that classic like Christmas where I've like been eating millions of calories every day and now I'm hungry constantly because I'm back to normal eating. So yeah, it's kind of weird having a structure again, but no, it was really nice, thank you. I did a lot of rotting, I did a lot of reading, and I saw family and friends. So yeah, it was good.
That's really nice. So, on the Bleeding Metal podcast, we talk a lot about mental health and human rights, diversity in the music scene. And you have been talking a lot about your new slogan on other interviews that is heavy metal unity. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about that with you today. But before, I would like to know more about you and your upbringing, all of your background, personal and musical. Would you like to tell us your life story?
Yeah, sure. I was like a very hyperactive kid. I was really into sports, mainly football, the English kind. I used to play a lot of video games. I used to like be into reading and drawing. I guess in terms of my musical journey, I got really into sort of alternative music through the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtracks on the PS1. We were lucky enough to have the console growing up. And yeah, and it basically curated my entire sort of playlist from a young age. I think I was about like 8 or 9 or so when that came out, maybe a bit older, can't remember. Yeah, and then from there I sort of started getting into bands like Avenged Sevenfold. I'm trying to think what else was on the soundtrack. And like a few, I guess, ska bands, like skate punk bands were on there as well.
Yeah.
And then from there I
All
kind
the
of realized
Millencolin and that type of
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
pretty much. Was it Goldfinger as well, I think? I sort of got into that. And same with SSX Tricky, which is a snowboarding game that had a really good soundtrack. Had like more indie stuff on there. And I sort of just realized that most of that music was sort of featured on Kerrang and Scuzz TV. We had those music channels on our sort of cable set up. I used to literally, before school, I'd get up early just so I could watch it. And I'd make like a little list because it was back when we didn't have the internet or streaming. So I had to save all my pocket money up and I could only afford like a CD a month. So I had to like have a very curated list of everything I was buying.
Right.
And yeah, like Kerrang magazine was a big thing I used to pick up every Wednesday. It was every Wednesday, every week anyway. So yeah, it was a fun time. I actually, I've been weirdly over this Christmas break becoming quite nostalgic over it because this past year I felt a bit bombarded by like, I think we were literally just talking about this like before going live on this, like how everything is sort of vying for your attention constantly. And it's quite easy to feel a little bit burnt out and like a bit more sort of like less excited, I guess, about the arts. So I've gone off on a tangent now. I've actually started quitting streaming services and going back to buying CDs again. I bought a disc drive and has started loading like my old albums and stuff on my phone. And yeah, I'm just sort of looking ways where I can be a bit more intentional with what I'm consuming in both film and music because I find it really hard to get really into an album these days because I'm constantly feeling like I need to listen to the new thing that's like on my Apple Music homepage and things like that. And it's stopped me from being able to like listen to an album back to front properly and really absorb it.
Mhm.
And also I just don't know the song names and the album names anymore. Like, I used to know them, like, off by heart and things like that, and I
Yeah,
kind of miss, I guess, the sort of intensity of the fandom of it a little bit. I feel like it feels almost a bit more, what's the word? Kind of, like, consumable and a bit more throwaway. It doesn't feel like something you treasure as much anymore, so I'm
sure.
trying to find this weird balance where I'm still keeping up on top of things, but being a bit more intentional and really enjoying it.
Oh my god, that's beautiful because I remember everything you were just telling, including Tony Hawk, Pro Skater, and also the time we used to wait for the songs to come up on the radio to well, piracy of that day to record them on tape.
God, the stress. My tape player used to sometimes, like, the buttons would stick, and I'd be like, "Fuck,
Uh-huh.
fuck." So there'd be loads of, like, songs where I'd miss the first, like, 10 seconds because I was faffing
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, or if the radio host talked over it. And I also remember writing the lyrics, like transcribing the lyrics while I listened, and then I would stop the cassette and then keep writing and then press play again. Then later with CDs, just to have the booklet in my hands and actually read the lyrics from there. And that evolved in looking up the lyrics on search engines and understanding, oh, okay, I actually had those right or not, and all that type of thing. And you're right, to discover the music that way and then go out and buy the whole album and listen to it all and discover the other gems on there. Or sometimes actually the album was not that great and the it was like,
Yeah.
okay, then I paid the whole $10 for one single that I liked.
That's it, but I feel like it's kinda good because it teaches you patience with the album, because you're like,
Mhm.
if you get, like, a dud in your eyes, you're like, "Oh, fuck, this is not what I expected." It kind
Yeah.
of forces you to almost, like, listen to it and, like, find things to like about it. You kind of have less of a knee-jerk reaction back then because you were just forced to listen to what you'd bought, which is
Yeah.
obviously a bad thing because sometimes it'd be heartbreaking. Like, I've had a few, won't mention any albums because it's mean, but, like, where I spent my entire month's pocket money on it, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad," or it's like a
Yeah.
compilation and I didn't realize or something like that. Because there's no reference of the internet really, because we had this awful dial-up connection that anytime someone called the landline, I'd lose
Hmm.
connections. It's a funny one.
Right.
Like another well, I've gone down a lot of rabbit holes during this break. It's what happens when I have time off. Another thing that really struck me was, like, the worry of, like, not having archives of stuff. Like, if this, like, physical dies out and everything's on these servers and these central locations, like,
Hmm.
if a fire happens, like that's happened with the Sony warehouses back in the day with physical media just being lost. And there's so many, like, films and music that are just released digitally. It's like you run the risk if you don't have it in people's own personal archives at home through, like, I know, them collecting CDs or vinyl or anything like that,
Hmm.
or even just having digital on their hard drives, you run the risk of losing art.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's an interesting sort of like time because it's like streaming is still very new, but it's very quickly taking over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have gotten used to it so quickly.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, it's
crazy.
brilliant. Like, I mean, my young me would like be having a field day. Like, if I had all that free time I did when I was a kid, and I had this limitless access. But also, I don't know. It's really hard because I do find that it's like less romantic and it's less tangible. It was really interesting. So I was hanging out with my cousin over the Christmas break, and she's like 14, 15, and she buys vinyl. Like, her
Wow.
Christmas list is all vinyl, so you do see, like, a lot of like, kids sort of getting it, well, she's not a kid, she's a teenager, but younger people getting into physical and just sort of, like, the fun nostalgia aspect of it. I'm not gonna get my Walkman out there and my hoodie. I always used to put it in my hoodie pocket. I think I won't go
Yes.
that far.
Would be fun though, could be fun.
Yeah.
And how did you then start making music yourself?
When I was, like, 13, 14, I was part of this sort of youth centre thing. I wasn't religious at all, but we had loads of, like, church-led sort of, like, youth programs, and one of them was, like, to help kids form bands, and, like, there was this couple who, like, were in bands and stuff that used to run these workshops. I used to go there, I think, every week, and I was playing guitar back then. And, yeah, I just sort of play that. I think we did, like, one show in front of parents. And then for the longest time, I kind of didn't really do anything until I was about 19 when my boyfriend, now husband, created this project called Employed to Serve. It was just a home recording project, and he needed a vocalist. He was like, "Why don't you just learn how to do vocals?" And I was like, "Sure." And,
Wow,
that's how I did it.
that's amazing. And that was back in 2011 when you started it?
Yes, 2011, 2012, I think. I can't remember. So long ago now.
It's also not long at all. I mean, it feels like you have, with your latest album, Fallen Star, actually consolidated your sound and are ready to take on the world. So you have an amazing future ahead of you as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a really fun journey. Like, 'cause when I was coming up, like when I was a teenager, well, I used to be like a very outgoing kid, but when I was a teenager, I was a lot quieter and like shyer. So it was quite nice forcing myself out of my comfort zone by playing on stage in front of all these people
Mhm.
constantly. And yeah, like it's just been a real journey. This band's been with me my whole, like from like late teens to I'm like early 30s now. So it's been, yeah, quite a change. It's like been with me my whole adult life, basically.
And talking about Fallen Star, it was just released in April 2025 and it featured a lot of super cool artists like Will Ramos, Jesse Leach, and Serena Cherry. What did all those collaborations teach you?
I really enjoy sort of seeing how other vocalists do their own take on their own work, but it's especially interesting when they do it to like another band. Like, because
Mhm.
sometimes I personally find with my own band, I kind of get like into sort of formulas and stuff of like how I do things. It's almost like a routine. And we still like try to be creative with it, but you can kind of almost feel like you're on a sort of conveyor belt of like sort of like how you do certain vocal parts and things like that. So when I
Yeah.
hear another vocalist doing their own take on something we've written, I find it really interesting. And sometimes like I like to borrow. I like to borrow sort of like ideas and stuff from them. So yeah, it was really awesome. And they're such incredible vocalists. Serena has been like our friend since like for the past 10 years now because we started around the same time as her band's Svalbard. So like we did
Mhm.
one of our first EU tours with them back in 2016, I think it is. So like we've been friends for ages now. So yeah, that was really nice to sort of like have a full circle moment and have her sort of like our friendship almost immortalized on record.
That's
And
amazing.
then yeah, and then Will Ramos is like one of the best metal vocalists of this generation. He's like so incredible. So it was amazing working with him. And obviously Jesse Leach has been a childhood favorite of mine. I remember picking up the Kill Switch CD when I was in school. So yeah, I feel very fortunate to have them.
How was it to work, especially with Serena, as you know, women in metal? We talk a lot about feminism and just the different perspective that we women bring to the genre. Was there something special that you would say you didn't share with other vocalists or musicians in general?
Yeah, I mean, so Serena's an interesting one. So she actually lives around the corner from me. So like we're really good friends. I see her quite often. I wouldn't say on the record it was sort of like kind of prevalent, but in general conversations we use each other as like as our agony aunts kind of thing of being like, oh God, this happened. So it's just really nice. It's a sort of support network, I guess, of
Nice.
sort of grievances.
Yeah.
I don't find it too awkward to be fair. Like it's a lot better than it used to be. Like we used to be
Mhm.
bitching to each other all the time back when I feel like the scene was less aware, I guess, about
Mhm.
it. I feel like it's a lot nicer being a woman and a man these days, fortunately. Obviously it's not without its problems still,
Mhm.
but I feel like there's a lot more sort of like I guess literature and awareness in general about it. So yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I've been reading about your experience in that sense as well. And I have this quote from an interview where you said that you just don't have to wear a big baggy t shirt anymore and you can wear nice dresses and still be metal. And
Yeah.
that's something that you did really well in the latest album as well. How do you choose your aesthetic nowadays?
Yes, that was a really interesting realization I had because when you are in a male dominated area, you kind of have this weird thing where you're like, I'm not like other girls. Like it's a bad
Mm, yeah.
thing. And it's like, and you feel that you feel like the pressure almost like not even like subconsciously to sort of fit in and look like them. Obviously, because you can wear what the hell you want if you want to wear baggy stuff. I mean, I wear so many baggy clothes at home. Like I literally have, I call them my day PJs. But yeah, like it was just really interesting realizing actually I can just wear a dress if I want to. It was
Yeah.
just always that fear of like, oh, she's just trying to dress provocatively to get more
Mm,
people to listen to the music. And it's just like, oh, I hate thinking like that. And I hate like that attitude. It's like you can just be a woman and, you know, just like
yeah.
hopefully be in a good band. It's like, yeah, it's an interesting one. But in terms of aesthetic, I pretty much literally live in Mary Wyatt clothes. She's like a designer clothing brand that's based in London, but I think now has moved to LA as well. But I just love her stuff. I fondly like nickname it corporate goth. It's really nice minimalistic black clothing that's
Yeah.
really high quality, and she hasn't paid me to say this, by the way. I just really like her stuff. I just really enjoy like how it's basically its own little capsule wardrobe of black clothes, and like they're all
Yeah.
just nice quality and they're like just nicely done. There's not too many frills, and yeah, I love wearing that stuff. And so I wear that a lot. And then yeah, I just sort of like I live on Pinterest a lot. And there's a
Mm.
few TikTok influencers I follow that like really like to do get ready with me videos. It's my sort of like morning coffee routine. I just literally look at what they
Oh,
put on.
nice. That's really cool. The way women dress is very policed and it's very political as well. Sometimes, not only on the stage, but on stage, we get so much more attention. And it can be really, really difficult, I guess, sometimes to draw the line between the physical comfort and the social comfort that it also gives you
Mm.
confidence, The whole sex sells thing sometimes actually works. And if people want to do that, more power to them. But just to still be thinking that that might be the scrutiny we get put under is just so exhausting.
Oh, massively. I think fortunately, as I'm like getting older and being more, I have been in it more often, I'm just caring less and less.
Mhm.
It's a really nice freeing thing. Obviously, I still will always care, like, I'm only human kind of thing. And I don't know, I'll see an unfortunate photo of me with a double chin because of the angle, but I'm just like, oh, who cares? It's just, you get to the
Yeah,
point where you're just so overexposed to it. You just like kind of like learn to give fucks elsewhere.
sure, sure. Onto a different topic, you and your bandmate and also life partner, if I'm not mistaken, Sammy, you also run Church Road Records for a while now. And you have a bit of a diverse roster over there that also includes many other women in metal. You have Malavora on there and Svalbard, you were just mentioning, and also your own side projects, Glorious and Serena's Noctule. Tell us, what's your job over there like?
So it's just myself and Sammy that run it. So we pretty much wear many hats. We do everything from marketing the release or set like, ads up, sending it to press, pressing like records, CDs, and making sure it's all on like digital services. We're like a one-stop shop. And because all of our bands are on the smaller side, or at least some of them, a lot of them don't have managers. So sometimes we kind of help them with general sort of, I guess, like career steps and things like that as well. But yeah, I
Nice.
pretty much do everything. It's exciting. Like I feel really fortunate to do what I love as a living because I used to find it really hard coming off tour and then working in retail. And that was a real customers can be mean. So it was quite nice to hide away behind a laptop and just go to shows for a living.
Oh my goodness, that's the dream.
Absolutely.
How's your way of working with your partner as well? Is that a challenge at some point? Doing everything together, working at everything together.
Yes and no. Like I feel like we're pretty good because we've been together since we were 16. So we pretty much grew up together. So like we're quite like aware of each other and like, we kind of work quite harmoniously together. Also, I find like we have our sort of solo hobbies that we do. Like I read and he like plays guitar and stuff. So we're pretty good at sort of like spending some time apart despite spending most of our time together. So yeah,
Okay.
you've got to have something to talk about, right? Because if
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. That helps a lot. That's so good to hear.
But no, I feel like really fortunate. I'm assuming he's not sick of me because he married me, so it was his choice.
That's so beautiful. I've been thinking for years now about special episodes or maybe even a special extra show or something with couples that actually work together in the industry. There are many, and some of them are together on stage, and one of them is on stage, and the other one works behind the scenes as well. And it's just so beautiful to see people supporting each other like that too.
Oh yeah, it's really nice because it's hard when you're like in a band because like obviously our other band members have got partners at home and it's like they don't see them for like a month at a time, so it's
Hmm.
quite taxing, I think. So and quite hard to like miss someone for that long. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very very lucky that he comes with me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Together, as well as we were saying in the beginning, you have been creating this banner kind of heavy metal unity. And I'm super curious about it. I feel like I have a bit of a critical view to this stereotype that the metal community is very open-minded and welcoming, and it's not always. I feel sometimes like it's a lot of talk and not all of us walk the walk.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Where did your idea come from?
I think it was just from going to metal festivals, like Download and Working, where you see entire families together. Like you'll see like a little kid with their matching battle jacket with their parents. And it's just like a nice idea that there's this subculture where it's very niche, but equally a very big one. It's almost like I
Mhm.
liken it to supporting a football team. Like you go
Yeah.
to a show and if someone's wearing the same shirt or seeing the same band, like 9 times out of 10, you'll have more than just that band in common with them. We've met so many like lifelong friends from being in this band and from the metal community. So it's just sort of like a nice way of summing up how we feel about metal as a whole and how, an entire festival crowd of thousands of people know all the lyrics to the songs from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And it's just like a nice unifying cause to get behind. And at the end of the day, like, especially when you're in school and you're a teenager and you're like that goth kid and get bullied, it's, you kind of earn the right to be precious over metal. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of nice. You kind of stuck to being so into something that you were willing to be a social outcast for.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what it is, right? It's like all of the underdogs almost uniting and finding community, finding friendship and connecting to other people. And that is, I think, so important in this day and age that is so divisive, and every information coming at us trying to make us pick a side, kind of. I
hmm
think it's really important.
Massively, especially like when you're a teenager, like, that's the hardest time of anyone's life is being a teenager. And I think music is such an anchor, arts in general, like books and film, like you kind of feel really connected to them. And I think it helps become your moral compass when you're younger and sort of like I feel like it helps raise you just as much as your family, really, what kind of media you consume.
Yeah, true. And what I was referring to before is that we live in really, really weird times. We have been watching cancel culture for the past maybe even a decade already. And I feel like for the past few years, as metalheads, we also live in this constant fear of, please do not let my favorite band be assholes, violent, or abusive in any way. Sometimes allegations pop up and we don't really know how to handle those. Bands don't really know how to handle those. There have been, I feel, bands that have reacted very quickly and haven't allowed anyone to defend themselves or clarify anything just for fear of being canceled, and have like fired members super quickly, or some that actually never really gave a statement and just pretended that things never happened when, by, let's say, minor offenses. But yeah, I think it can be really difficult to keep people accountable in the metal scene so that we actually live up to that stereotype of being inclusive and being welcoming and respecting each other and picking each other up.
Yeah.
Have
Oh,
you
yeah.
had any experience with that?
Yeah, I mean, the old label I worked for, Holy Raw, had an awful thing happen where the owner was not a nice person. I left because I didn't want to work for someone like that. Yeah, and it was just really sort of, well, not interesting, it's the wrong word. I guess horrifying seeing how insane it kind of goes on the internet and how people very quickly are getting the pitchforks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never black and white. There's always like gray areas of stuff. And I think because the internet doesn't show emotion in 20 characters in terms of like tone and voice and things like that, it's really hard to convey some things that are so sensitive in a notes screenshot. Like it's just hard. And it's like there's no one size fits all to any situation. You can only just sort of like support the artists that you feel align with your own morals or that make you feel good for supporting. Like, that's,
Hmm.
like, that's the kind of only way you can kind of navigate it, really. I think it's a
Sure.
bit more measured these days because you like, you had, like, this band who, cancelled themselves because the vocalist cheated on his girlfriend, and it's like, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but it's not, like, a cancelable offense, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
you know?
I
It's,
didn't know about that one.
yeah, there's so many examples of it where you see on Twitter,
Mhm.
it's like they can't self-cancelled themselves, and It's weird. But yeah, I could even feel myself doing it. I'm like self-censoring what I'm saying to be like, "But not like that." And it's just so weird.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like walking on eggshells sometimes,
Mm.
but I feel like even more so, it's really important to reflect our values and use our stages to spread those values of respect to each other and take care of one another, especially respecting human rights. Is that something that's important to you as well to talk, to get political even in interviews or on stage?
I don't like to, not because I don't care, because I very much am of the mindset everyone deserves a good quality of life, no matter where they're
Mhm.
born. But I find there's so much, once again, nuance and so much information that I don't know about. Even if I read articles and things like that, I always worry
Mhm.
about getting a certain bias. And also from a lot of the cultures I'm not from. So I kind of
Mhm.
feel like I don't have grounds to like weigh in on it. And I'm
Mm.
not saying if you're not from a culture, you shouldn't comment on it, because there's plenty of people who are very well read up on it and have like grounds to sort of like have an opinion on it. But I don't spend enough time gathering all the information. I don't like to swing either way on a subject without everything, without knowing both sides and things like that. I'm a very boring, measured person. I don't like I don't like to be angry about stuff like yeah that I don't understand.
You're not boring at all.
Just yeah, it's just life's too short to be angry all the time.
That's
I
true.
try my best to, like, support, like, independent businesses that align with my morals and same with bands and, give to
Yeah.
charities when I can. It's just, like, that's the only thing I
Mhm.
can kind of feel like I can personally give. But equally, you got those really awesome people who spend all their time reading up on subjects and writing really insightful articles. I think there's different forms of activism, I think.
Sure. Absolutely. And going back to the interview that I was quoting earlier, I found it really, really interesting. This Garang interview from last year. You said that your mission is complete world domination. And I
Yeah.
found that very cool. What would you do for the world if you were actually in total power of the planet?
Oh, okay. What would I do? So, I would love to do, like, a universal income thing
Yes.
because I feel that AI is gonna steal a lot of jobs, and I feel like
Mhm.
there needs to be a certain living standard because 'cause we're in, like, late stage capitalism now, so, like, there's only so
Yeah.
much like, so many goods you can buy and sell and things like that. It's yeah, so I feel like there needs to be universal income where everyone needs a baseline of food and shelter slash or at least it's easier.
Subsistence is secured and nobody has to fear for that.
Yeah, I mean, no one needs to be a billionaire slash going on to being a trillionaire.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it's a funny one because I'm a small business owner, both because,
Mhm.
obviously the band is also a business. And I think competition is also good because it keeps me like on my toes and I'm like thinking of new things like, how can we get to more people and things like that. But
Yeah.
I think unfortunately with how the tax system is set up, it doesn't allow for growth of smaller businesses. And small
Mhm.
businesses actually make up for most, like a huge percentage of tax. I can't remember what it is in the UK, but it's substantially more than the small 1% companies because they don't pay
Yeah.
corporation taxes. So yeah, it's about sort of just redistributing wealth is I think
Yes.
my main my main one.
Yeah, a universal income where everybody feels safe and
Mm.
knows that there's enough food and shelter for them, and then we can get creative.
That's it. I'm a simple creature. I just like, I like my food. I like to be able to
Yeah.
afford to go to a few shows and stuff. But for the most
Yeah.
part, I have no interest in luxury goods or anything like that. And interestingly, like if there was a base income, so I'm going off on a real tangent here. Like, we the peasants, we love spending money. The rich people
Mhm.
hate spending money. So like realistically, like, to keep things moving in terms of like buying goods, you kind of you want us to have money so we can buy their stuff.
Right, right.
Let the
Yeah, that's
peasants
a
have
that's a
money.
very good point.
It's not outrageous. I just yeah, it's interesting. I feel like the Scandinavian countries have started doing some really good tests on that. I think in
Mhm.
Finland, I think they did the universal income trial. But it's so hard. Like economics is an entire degree unto itself. Just trying to understand how currency works because you know how things just fluctuate all the time. I'm like, well, how? Why?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
like inflation and things like that. And it's just so beyond my brain capacity.
Yeah, someone has to find a solution for that, not necessarily us.
Yeah, not me. I'm not qualified.
Yeah,
I just don't want my eggs to be really expensive.
that's exactly it. But on your way to complete world domination, what's next for you and Employ to Serve?
We'd love to play further afield. I want to play like America, Australia, Japan's a big one. I've always wanted to visit Japan. And yeah, I just want to play more countries, do more European tours, just like have continue to have fun with it, really. So I really enjoy touring. Obviously, I sometimes moan because I'm tired if my band members listen to this. But like, yeah, I just really enjoy traveling. The thing I really like about touring is that you get a lot of speed tourism in because you've only got a certain amount of time in a city. I literally
Mhm,
like, we just get an Uber and do a quick ping ponging around like all those key sites and just getting a few
yeah.
photos and sort of reading a few plaques about a statue and stuff. And I quite enjoy it because it gives me sort of like a good overview of like a wide space of Europe. And then like I try and go back for an entire weekend and delve in deeper.
Mhm,
On this last tour, we were lucky enough to play Estonia and Latvia for the first time.
mm,
We played yeah, Tallinn, and like it was a beautiful place. Like it's sort of almost like frozen in time, you know, where they keep
mhm.
architecture in keeping with like sort of like the overall look of a place. It doesn't have giant skyscrapers and stuff, basically.
Right. Sure,
So it's
yeah.
really nice. It's like very like cobbled streets, and there was like an old tavern looking place. Very much a tourist trap, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just nice to sort of see it. Really
That's
gets me out of my
lovely.
small town.
So you get a bit of a speed run of the tourist sites when you're on tour, and then you get to dive deeper. That's lovely.
That's it, yeah, because I get quite bored otherwise. If it's like a big museum that I'm not particularly interested in, it's quite nice to have a time limit, and I'm like, right, let's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then I'll see something that interests me. I guess it's like skipping through an album, finding your favorite song.
Right, right. How do you keep yourself healthy on tour aside from getting some fresh air at the at the speed running of sites?
I try not to drink at all. I think I'll have like 1 or 2 party nights, but that's all I can handle now. Oh, it just makes me feel so bloated and miserable the next day. I just that on top of like like being tired, it's just like an absolute disaster. But I used to be able to do it, but now I definitely can't. And then, yeah, I just try and eat better. Like it's really hard on the travel days because you end up having a lot of McDonald's. But I do the really unthinkable thing, and I try and order a salad as well, my chicken nuggets or something. I just
Mhm.
try my best to like have a bit of a balance with it, and like try and eat as I would at home. Like instead of having a big burger for lunch, I'll try and have like I don't know a sandwich or something and some fruit. But yeah, it's hard. It's something I'm trying to still trying to work out. 'Cause, like, when you're on a tour bus, it's a bit easier because 'cause you'll
Mhm.
have, like, a fridge and sort of, like, a microwave and stuff, so you can kinda do something a bit healthier. But we do travel lodges and, like, Sprinter vans, so it's kind of a bit of a different vibe. There's no fridge. So,
Right.
yeah.
I feel like trying to be super healthy sometimes can be such a pressure on ourselves as well, and it
Yeah,
can get
especially when you're
stressful.
tired, and all your body wants is, like, comfort and calories, which is, like
Mhm.
you know, do you know what I mean? It's almost like a form of entertainment is the McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? It's your
Yeah.
treat. But then, like, that treat actually doesn't make you feel good, so there's, like, this weird sort of tug of war in your head being like, "Oh, should I get the burger?"
At the end of the day, we're all doing the best we can as well.
It's just about having fun, really. Like, I think
Mhm.
it's easy to lose sight of when you've got streams to worry about and
Mm.
ticket sales. It's just sort of like trying to always bring yourself back to the beginning when before you had even started the band, that all you wanted to do was, like, play live once. So it's just sort of
Yeah.
like having that sort of balance of like setting yourself goals that you want to achieve, but also remaining grateful and like not putting pressure on it.
Yes. Is there anything else you would like our listeners or viewers to know about yourself, about the record label, the band, anything?
You can find us on Instagram and all the other good places. I'd love for you guys to check out both the album and also my label. Sorry, our label. Yeah, because I feel like we kind of have a good range of music, and it's also like my personal music taste as well. So I always like to shout about it. And yeah, like we try and support small bands. So that's nice.
Yes. Small are really awesome. And as I said, also very diverse. We had Malavora here on the show almost a
Oh,
year
amazing.
ago. It was really amazing to get to know them a little better and to hear how they empower themselves and also represent different abilities on stage as well, and how they make that part of their show, kind of.
Massively. I mean, touring with disabilities, like, yeah, it's so impressive.
Yeah. And how they
Yeah.
just, they're not quitting. Nothing is stopping them. So
Yeah.
it's really.
Yeah, it's really exciting for me to work with bands like that. I find them very
Mhm.
inspiring. And I
Yeah.
think that's the real important part of me being in a band is, like, doing the label as well, because I sort of see bands earlier on in their career and it kind of reignites that early day enthusiasm again. I really like it. So
I love that. Yes, that's it from us today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bleeding Metal podcast wherever you listen and to watch on YouTube. All links will be in the description, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Justine.
thank you very much for having me.